All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this show up out at East Abuda, Alabama with Frank Proctor, Weigh the Gun. Frank's going to work the long gun, going to stretch the legs on the standard AR-15.
Hey y'all, what's up? I'm Frank Proctor with Weigh the Gun Performance Shooting. I want to talk to you guys today a little bit about working with a gun in a long position. Where I'm going at with that. If you were to see this gun hanging up on a gun store somewhere on the shelf or at SHOT Show, this is the way you'd see it, right? Folks think we need to, well, a couple reasons. It looks cool, sort of, maybe not. And then also folks think they need the really short gun to work in tight places like for CQB or whatever, right? I've done a whole lot of CQB and other stuff with these guns, and once I figured things out, and I'm going to tell you, I started off life as a tactical shooter somewhere right around in there, and then got crazy and extended it out. Oh, not quite that far, somewhere in there, right? Started figuring out that this was a much better way to shoot the gun. Back to that world is flat kind of thing. It was already out there. A lot of people already knew, but I discovered it for myself. But then at that, like I say, with the gun extended long where it's a lot easier to shoot it, doesn't really cost you anything in the way of maneuverability. There are some things you're going to have to look at in order to do that, to really work in a really tight place with this gun in this position. As shooters, especially as tactical shooters, we never want to take that gun away from our stock or our shoulder, right? It's kind of like a security blanket kind of thing for shooters. However, the thing that's going to add for us is dimension and then kind of limit the kind of workspace we can work in. Let's throw a magazine in here real quick so we can get some more ideas there. So if we keep the rifle mounted to our shoulder and bring the gun down as low as we can get it in this orientation with the magazine in, you're kind of limited. You can't work in a very tight space. If I need to get around this barrel, or if that was my buddy's legs, I can't work there, right? Can't get there, and definitely don't want to point the gun at somebody's legs, right? So what we can do, if we get the gun, even if we keep the gun on our shoulder and roll it straight down, still got dimension. We only can go so far with it with the gun attached to our shoulder. Now you add on body armor or something like that, or any other dimensional factors you got, you get to where you can't get the muzzle completely straight up and down. What we can do here is break the gun off of our shoulder, get the gun straight up and down. Now we can work in a much tighter space and get in and around people without pointing the gun at them, and the gun stays in our bubble, okay? Along those lines, something we're gonna have to do to make this a little bit more comfortable is relax that support hand grip, kind of twist the gun around in that support hand a little bit, and bring that support hand back to your belt. Now the gun comes off of our shoulder, and this is kind of against conventional wisdom here, but we can get the gun in and out of places and work in tighter places a lot easier here, right? Let's see where we're gonna go with this. We're gonna use this, this technique here in a moment. We'll shoot live here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna start where we're tight up against this barrel here. Happens quite a bit for 3-gun shooters, where you got a start position where you got to start with the muzzle on a barrel or something. If we keep the rifle attached to our shoulder, like we want to as shooters, we'll have to either lean way back or push the gun around to get it into operation, or we can break that thing off of our shoulder, pull it up high, and then push it back out to where it needs to be, okay? For tactical shooters, you can find yourself in a tight spot and up against a vehicle or something like that, not able to move backwards. This will give you the ability to get that gun into position a lot quicker and into operation quicker. Don't really have a name for this one yet, but this is shake and bake, okay? Go ahead and lock this bolt to the rear so I can manipulate the selector lever a few times here. What we're gonna do is gonna start back behind these barrels. Not cover, just a vision barrier and an obstacle to have to move around. We're gonna get the gun in and out of this position, or get ourselves in and around these barrels and get the gun out there to that target. What we're gonna have to do here, we're gonna work really tight to these barrels. You'll see here, with the gun straight up and down like so, we only need 2 inches of space to work in. So I'll start really tight to these barrels, start moving from one side to the other. Find it helps if we make the noises when we shoot. See how tight I'm staying in these barrels, right? And able to get the gun in and out of position really quickly. This is a 14.5-inch gun with the stock completely extended, and that long stock with the long rifle is not costing us anything in the way of maneuverability, okay? What else to have with that? Oh, safe gun handling rules. I use this for a little validation thing in the beginning of classes to kind of evaluate some gun handling skills. I live by 2 extremely easy to follow safe gun handling rules. Rule number 1, pointing into the death machine stays in a safe direction. Number 2, the rifle is on safe, positive pressure underneath the selector lever, and finger pressed on the frame if we're not connected to sights. If we're connected to sights, we can stay connected to the trigger. The instant we get it, disconnect our eyes from the sights, gun's gotta go on safe, finger back on the frame. That's what we got for right now. Hope you guys dig it. Go out and have a little fun with some shake and bake and use this technique to get in and out of positions faster. See y'all next time.
Trigger Time TV is brought to you by Crossbreed Holsters, Osprey Armaments, Troy Industries, Troy Defense, BCM, Bravo Company USA, Keltec, Nemo Arms, Tactical Walls, Dark Angel, Mission First Tactical, EOTech, Mayflower Research and Consulting, Streamlight, Closed Captioning, provided by Wiley X, and Trigger Time TV ammunition provided by Freedom Munitions.
All right, guys, as always, we had a great time putting on this episode for you. Thanks for watching, and as always, we would like to dedicate this show to the men and women of law enforcement. Bad boys, what you gonna do?